So tell me about what you've discovered with how you got into the whole thing with electricity, and because I know our first thing was the lectins, it was the food, and that's what got us really turned on to this whole idea of, you know, how they're playing with our life force in different ways.
Yeah, because I discovered this book by, what's his name, Stephen Gundry, and I've always had an allergy to pulses. Like, you know, I've been to hospital quite a few times, and I was told never to eat them again. So when I found this book saying that lectins are really bad for you and they're really high in pulses and grains, I thought, okay, let's give the low lectin diet a go. And it did really, really help me. So I thought I found the answer. And Gundry says that basically you, they've got plant proteins in them that to stop insects eating too much of them, they sort of paralyse insects. But if we eat too much of them, they make us ill as well. But unlike insects, we don't get the message, and we just keep yamming our face with this shit. And
listen, if it's got cheese and salt on it, everyone's fucking eating it, right?
Even if you feel ill, you know, you get because it's cumulative and slower acting in humans. You know, 20 years of eating it, and your body's not in a great state.
Give me an example of what's in the lectins. Like, if I went shopping, what should I leave out of my shopping basket?
Well, grains and pulses are really bad. Any carb, really, like the pulses are probably the worst for lectins. And then grains are really bad as well because of the sugar and all that kind of crap. And then all the things that I don't tolerate well. But
I don't know many organics that do, to be honest. I know for myself, when I'm off the fuckers, and, you know, at first, it's almost an addiction in the sense of it's such a part of our food groups, etc. You've got to really, what am I going to eat? What's happening? You know, and as soon as you get out of that thing, there's actually quite a variety to eat, and it's better, etc. But it's really hard for some people to grasp that. You know, no pulses, no grains. And they just look at you. It's like, yeah, babes, fuck the bread off first thing. Love and light. Do you eat it at all? Like, I mean, sometimes I see a beautiful salad sandwich and I go, I fucking got to have that, right? And I'm all right having one little bit, but then, of course, I think I'm okay, and then I have it again, and I have it again, and then I'm back on that downhill.
That's exactly what it is. You can tolerate a little bit of it, but once you've had a little bit, you want more. And then you get to the point where you can't tolerate it, so you leave it alone, and then you have it once, and you find you're okay with it, and you think, oh, excellent, I can eat it again. And you try and eat it again, and, you know, you get bitch slapped again. So, you know, I knew there was something, so I thought I'd found the answer. So I did the 3-day cleanse, and I went through a massive detox, and I felt a lot better. And I thought, oh, that's what it is. And Gundry's theory is that we haven't been acclimatized to eating New World food that's come from the Americas. And he says we've been only eating them for 10,000 years, which is not enough time to develop tolerance to these plants.
I'm not laughing at you. You know how I am with the fucking 10,000 years and all that. That's my thing. I'm sorry. I'm not knocking you.
No. At first I thought his theories were really interesting, okay? Because he was saying that we're designed to eat 2-leaf plants from the top of trees kind of thing, and he says we used to be taller before the flood. So there was kind of some interesting things in there to explore.
Yeah, I mean, people are getting truths. It's just that, or when I say it's just that, you've got to listen to it from here. You know what I mean? You can't listen to it from here. So it's like he's getting the idea, but let's reaffirm or let's talk about what the fucking flood is. You know, I mean, we don't have to now, but what I'm saying is with these guys. So it's like sometimes you've got to just stretch your tolerance in what the information is to get the gems. You know what I mean? Okay.
And it's a metaphor for something. It's not always as literal as they make it out to be. What? But that's the only way that they can describe what 10,000 years ago we used to do this and that and that. It's just a metaphor.
Yeah, that's it. And it seems to make sense that he sort of got some right ideas, and now I know a lot more. He's got the right diet, but for the wrong reason. Okay, so what happened after that? I did that 3-day cleanse, and I felt a lot better. Then I tried to reintroduce the foods that he said were safe to eat, and I got sick again really quickly. And at the same time, I started to see information about how harmful blue light is.
Oh, yeah, okay. This light thing. It's so fucking confusing, sorry.
Well, I was kind of ignoring it yet, because Dr. McCullough kept putting these articles out saying LED lights are really dangerous. And because I just switched to all LED lights, I was thinking, they can't be that bad. And I didn't really look into it. And then suddenly, it all came together when I actually read an article. And it's not just LED lights, it's all your devices. So any white light or any blue light, basically any artificial light. And at that point, it became obvious that was part of my problem. When I realised that, I've always had trouble sleeping at night, and when I found out that blue light suppresses your melatonin production, I realised there was something in it. So I started reading this neurosurgeon's work, and he was saying that basically the Gundry diet is right, but for the wrong reasons. And he's saying that it's all caused by EMFs, and that blue light and white light, they're all EMFs. So basically, EMFs isn't just electricity, but it's light. Everything's a frequency, isn't it? It's
So he's taking in that whole spectrum, not just, you plug it in your computer. He's got the whole thing, right? What's his name? What's his name? If anyone wants to.
Jack Kruse.
Oh, JK. Yeah, got it. Jack Kruse.
Yeah. Now, it took me a while to read through all his papers. He's got his own website, but it's really for health professionals that are studying under him, or for people like me who've been sick. If you've been sick 20 years and you can't find anyone else and you're going to do it yourself, you can go on there and read his protocols. And I'm used to reading heavy research, but it's still really heavy going, to be honest. But all the answers are out there. But as he's discovering different things, he's adding to it. So it's like a story. So when you read his really old ones, he's sort of introducing concepts, and as he goes along, he's adding to it. So I was trying to read all these papers and put it all together, and it's absolutely huge, to be honest.
Yeah.
But what he's saying is that blue light suppresses your melatonin. Okay, so and we know how important melatonin is. Okay, so if you're looking at if you're watching telly, looking at your phone, on your laptop or whatever in the evening, and basically you're really screwing your circadian rhythm up.
Right.
And when you screw your circadian rhythm up, it screws up all your hormones. So looking with organic eyes, we can see that they're controlling our hormones via light, artificial light. And he's saying that basically we need to get up at dawn. We should be outside all the while. It's not really viable where I live because it was snowing and sleet and bloody freezing today.
Come to Oz, mate. Gotta come to Oz.
Yeah. We should be outside all day. We should be seeing all these different spectrums of light, and they all give our hormones instructions. So if you're stuck inside, say if you work in an office with fluorescent lighting, then you're giving your hormones crazy instructions. So if you're exposed to bright artificial light in the evening, you're telling your body it's midday. So your body is doing things that it normally does at midday.
That makes sense, doesn't it? Look at your face. He's actually got the bags for me, like, holy shit.
I know, it's like I don't want to go to work anymore.
I know, right?
But it's an interesting thing because you can balance yourself to the conditions.
That's true.
And then you'll see exactly, more specifically, which parts of your body are under stress and how to manage it better. But anyway, I'll let you continue.
Well, one thing that's just thinking about your profession, that's actually quite dangerous in the fact that if you think every time you go to a hospital, the doctors, whatever, it's all really bright lights, isn't it? Mm. And when I took I took the dog to the vets at midnight, and I didn't want to wear those blue-looking glasses because I felt like a knob. So I went in there at midnight, and I nearly passed out and threw up. It was so embarrassing. And then
listen, you should just get the fucking glasses. If you're going to do that shit, just wear it. You know, that you could just be the crazy blue glass lady. I think it's kind of...
I'll put you in first. I'll be worried what's going to happen. But yeah,
but hang on a second. I'm listening to what you're saying, and I'm digging it. Don't get me wrong. And I'm thinking, so we're exposed to certain light during the day to instruct our hormones where to go. Now, where is that light coming from? Because if it's the sun, it's programming the visage, right?
So isn't that from picking through?
Yeah, right.
Because early morning, because we talked about this before, didn't we? Early morning sun and late afternoon seems less offensive because yellow, the frequency yellow, like Yaldabaoth, yellow boy, shit, peaks at midday.
You're right.
Okay, but it seems that somehow sunrise and sunset, more of mood, natural frequencies come through, I think.
The light's different at those times. It's like this, well, here we see it really palpably. I don't know if you do. But dawn, it's like there's this golden hue over everything for about 20 minutes, half an hour. It's the most amazing, special feeling. And then suddenly the sun's up. It's like, fuck that shit. And then just at the dusk,
that's what Jack says.
Right.
Jack says you must see sunrise every day. And there's something special about that light just before the sun comes up. I don't know quite what
you can do it now. You can do it now. This is the point. So feeling, knowing that you've done that, you just recall it. And you can suck on that energy at any time, right?
Mm.
With the so you've got like the violet light first thing in the morning, just before the sun rises, and apparently that's what we should all be getting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I was saying, you know, like we were talking before about, okay, what's that hitting? Because, you know, we spent some time in the dark room.
Oh yeah.
Right. And so what it is in the dark room, the exercise is at least 9 days. Right, so the first 3 days of being in total darkness, and we're talking there is not a photon of fucking light, like seriously, they do it purposefully, and the first 3 days completely balances the melatonin. Then the next 3 days pineal is released, and then the next 3 days the DMT is released. Let's not worry about that for now. But interestingly, in that complete darkness, it's like you reset that whole melatonin thing.
And the other thing is you rejuvenate.
Totally.
Because...
But that's what melatonin does, doesn't it? It fuels your brain. It doesn't only help you sleep, and I mean, it's amazing stuff. It does everything. That's how damaging this as well. Because if everyone is on their, iPhones till midnight, then not only you're not going to sleep well, your brain's not going to repair. You're going to age faster. It's
such an addictive thing. I notice myself sometimes. It's like I'll wake up and then I sort of start my morning rituals and the phone becomes involved. I'm either checking messages or whatever, and it's like I purposefully now know. And then, but it's hard because it's like I know that someone's trying to communicate with me. I know this sort of thing, so I'm drawn to it. But it's actually not, it's like such a... not tempting thing, but it's like we're so roped in now.
Well, yeah, because that's how we all communicate. Yeah. So the thing is, though, it's not as if I'm free because I have to work on a laptop. But I've got some iris software which you can change the colour. So basically, I dim the laptop down and I put like a pinky red hue on it instead of a blue hue. And red is the antidote to blue. And what Jack Kruse was saying is that bright blue light, he said they could have chosen any other colour, but blue is the worst possible colour they could have chosen to base all these devices on. And obviously that's no accident. And basically, it's not that there's anything bad about the colour blue, as we know, but he's saying, and this is where it gets hard to try and, because this is a matrix concept, but he's saying that because of seasons, the only time we see that kind of blue intensity is between 12 and 2 in the afternoon on a summer's day. and our body does certain things in the summer, like it starts to store omega-6 fatty acids instead of omega-3. He's saying that basically when we're looking at blue light all year round, we're tricking our body into thinking it's summer all year round. Oh. And that makes us crave carbs because we know the winter's coming.
We just look at each other going, fuck!
So basically, blue light makes you crave carbs, yeah? Now, I was a carb addict and I just couldn't stop eating carbs. Even though I was told they weren't good for me, I just couldn't help myself. And I didn't realise it was the blue light that was doing it. But also, blue light makes you, causes inflammation because you're storing omega-6s at the expense of omega-3s. So, red light is actually the antidote to blue light. Red light is anti-inflammatory. So when we're all on these blue light devices all the while and we're not getting enough red light, I mean, you must know.
And then you're eating the sandwich with a packet of chips in front of the computer with a can of Coke or a coffee. Wow. So
yeah.
Hello, normal lifestyle, right?
Yeah. And basically this, no one's getting enough red light. Okay, so we're all getting the overdose of blue light, which causes inflammation, which is the root of all disease.
So when do you get red light during the day? Like if I wanted to up my red light, apart from, of course, sit in Essence, connect with the essence of Mu, and mainline her Soul Star, how else could I up my red light?
Well, it's there all day, okay? Yeah. So, from dawn till dusk, red light is there, but the best time to get it is after the UV light's gone away, because you're getting like the pure infrared. Right. So say between 3 and 5,
so
something like that. Yeah, so it's the beginning and the end of the day that are most important. Green's also there as a frequency all day, but the plants aren't having it, are they? Because I was reading up on plants and they've got receptors for red, blue and purple. Okay? They're green because they reflect the green.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So even they fuck it off. And the yellow's there, it's concentrated at midday. Okay, so that's when, and they always say stay out the sun between
Mad Dogs and Englishmen. Only Mad Dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun.
We do actually, yeah, because we're so desperate to get a bit of sun. We're just like, I don't care if I get burned, let's just have some warmth. But the best time it seems, we should be outside getting all the different spectrums. Obviously, we shouldn't be getting yellow or green, I don't think. That's their addition. But, and that's the fuckery really. Because you think about the working hours, yeah, the normal person gets up, zips off to work, they might get a bit of light on the way to work, and that's about it.
With a bit of
They'll
smog,
go out at lunchtime.
a bit of smog and a bit of mobile phone action, and oh yeah.
Yeah, and then when they come home, there's not much light time, depending on whether it's summer or winter. You're missing all those spectrums of light, but you're in an office. Say if you've got artificial light in your office, that's controlling hormones and telling it all kinds of weird shit. And basically, we shouldn't be working at all. We should be outside. You've got receptors all over your body, literally all over your body, and even in your fat cells that detect light. So every single cell in our body really is designed to detect light and then act accordingly, because light is information, as we know.
Because light is information.